Konnichiwa! I am Bittersweetie, and today I would like to discuss the primary sources I use to study Japanese. I know that a lot of you don't have formal Japanese lessons, neither do I, and a lot of you do self-studying like I do. And so I would like to discuss the sources I use. Maybe I can help you out, and in turn maybe you can give me suggestions and help me out. The first thing I wanted to learn was Hiragana and Katakana. Is everywhere, and it's the basic Japanese writing form for those who are learning. Actually, I think it's better to learn Japanese in Hiragana and Katakana as opposed to Romanji, which is the Roman alphabet form of Japanese language. And it really is just a crutch later on when you try to remember the words and all you can think is Romanji form, and it's just, there's no help at all. So the first thing I want to do is learn those two. And a really great source I found out about was remembering the Hiragana and remembering the Katakana. I don't have it with me now, but it is written by an author, Heisig, I think James Heisig, and it's just great. He teaches you a method to remember the kanji rather than just writing it down over and over and over till you remember it through memorization. And with me, memorization like that is just not gonna happen. So if you're anything like that, this is a really good alternative where he teaches you methods to remember it. And he also promises that you'll learn both Hiragana and Katakana in 3 hours or under for each one. And it's true because it took about 2.5 to 3 hours altogether when you add it up for me to learn it. And it was about 1 or 2 weeks maybe, because you have to take breaks in between. You can't just do it all in one sitting, I don't think. At least I couldn't. So you just use those and his method and you will learn Hiragana and Katakana really fast, I promise. It's awesome. And he actually came out originally with remembering the kanji, which is a great way to learn kanji as well. The same method, a little more complex, but same idea. I can't really explain it, I don't know, you kind of like put stories with the way it's shaped, and it's like, I don't know, he can explain it way better than I can. All I can tell you is it's really good to use. What I used to study the kanji is Anki. Anki.com, I think it's pronounced that way, maybe Anki, not really sure. It's a website and you can download a free program from, and it's basically like flashcards, and with it I've downloaded all of Heisig's kanji book, Kanji, that he discusses in the order, and it is really great because you can, whenever a flashcard of a kanji comes up, you can either say that you didn't remember it, that was easy, or it was hard. So the harder it is for you, the more it'll show up, and that's awesome because you're more subjected to the words that you don't know as much. So I recommend that. Of course, I'll put all the links in the information bar later. Then, as a general guideline to learn the language, it's kind of hard to just jump into it and use various sources. So you kind of want a general guideline of the order to learn the language in. There's so much to a language, and it's kind of necessary, I think, if you're not living in the country already. But I use Genki. This is a textbook to learn Japanese. It's used by a lot of American colleges for their Japanese classes because it's so great. It's called Genki, an integrated course in elementary Japanese. You see it? It breaks down learning the language in chapters, and it also gives you practice questions, and it comes with audio CDs, and there's even a study guide, I guess you could say, or a workbook that also you can get as a companion to this to study the chapters even more. And honestly, this is awesome. I haven't found anything better. And it was recommended by a few people. I was actually given to this by a friend, and it's awesome. Actually, Tofugu, I don't know if you've all been to that website. You should go if you haven't. I know they recommended it in the review section, but it's a great way to keep a general guideline, and if not, just be your primary learning resource in general. I am not that far in it. I'm still a beginner, but it is awesome. To practice the vocab, there's vocab for each chapter. To practice it, I like to use a website called smart.fm. And this is another awesome website where it's basically a program that is a flashcard kind of program like Anki, but it is more visual, I would say. There's pre-made lists from other users, or you can make your own. There's pre-made lists of the Genki chapters, which I use, and you just study from it, and it gives you the words, and you have to match it up. There's several different methods to match it up with a little bit of choices or a bunch of choices to choose from. They give you the English word, and you got to figure out what it is in Japanese, and vice versa, and in the end you have to spell it out in Japanese when all they do is give you the English word. And it focuses on words that you don't know as well. It will keep showing up in the words you know more. It won't show up as much because of course you know it. And it is a really great flashcard program. I believe it's the best way to learn vocab in my opinion. And then last we have just practicing the sentences in general. I love this website called lang8.com, lang-8. It is a collaboration website where you have a bunch of people who are trying to learn certain languages. So in my case, I'm an English speaker trying to learn Japanese. And so it'll match you up with, well, it doesn't really match you, but it posts it where other people who know the language will correct me, and I'll make a post, write anything I want, just like a little diary entry almost, and I'll make a post, and people who speak the Japanese natively or fluently will correct it and help me see what I did wrong, or if it's right, then congratulate me, if that ever happens. And it's a really good resource. You learn a lot of stuff, and you can actually even help people who are trying to hone their English skills. So it feels good to help people out and have them helping you, and it's just kind of like a warm community of people who just want to learn languages. And so it's really great to practice your sentence that way, and I don't post that much because I'm not as experienced as I'd like to be, but that should really not stop you from trying and learning from your mistakes, because that's the best way to learn, in my opinion. I actually learned that anime is spelled with katakana, not hiragana, which was kind of amusing for all those who speak it fluently. But yep, you learn a lot, and it's a really great resource as well. I think that's all the resources I pretty much use. Of course, I do a lot of other things, such as reading Japanese blogs or watching vlogs, such as, I'm sure you all know of, like Gimme the Flake Man and Miss Hannah Minks and all those great Japanese blogs that focus on the language and culture that I just love to watch. And it's very useful and very, very generous of these people to make vlogs like this. So I hope that I helped you, and if you have any questions or comments, just leave a message or type a comment and I'll try to get to them. And if you have any suggestions for me, that'd be awesome. So I guess that's all for now. I'll see you all later. Ja mata!